everybody. I am so excited. I have one of my childhood friends that end up being one of my college friends, that end up being one of my grown-up friends, just a friend, a friend, a friend. I want to start off with our song because I like to do the sing with me. How do I put that? Sing with me out of tune. You want to join us? I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gonna the clouds that you know how we do. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Now, without further ado, her name is Queen Sunny Honey. And let me tell you, back in the day, we used to call her Misha Busha. You remember that? And not only that, we have so many things that we can tell you that's really amazing. I'm really so grateful to her. She's actually going to be speaking to us live from Dubai. So, I love to have people that come on that I know from all parts of the world, but we actually grew up Southside Sumter. So she's going to share a little bit about me and a little bit about her, and then we're going to just have a conversation like we normally do. So get ready for the real. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Welcome, everyone. I know this wonderful woman from, I guess, from behind the belly button, as we can say. We are from a wonderful tradition, deeply based in knowing who we are and what heals us. And from the very moment I entered elementary school to the moment I entered adolescence and adulthood, each part of my sacred woman process was through the connection of that first friendship. This woman right here that I'm honored to actually reconnect, Dr. Dr. Wells, Dr.
Oh my
Honey.
god.
To,
Oh my god. See, now she's using my government name. A lot of people don't know that. They call me Aunt Mary's niece, honey.
Honey,
I was feel like starting it over.
Aunt Mary niece. Put some respect on it. Dr. Aunt Mary's niece.
Yes, honey. Put some respect on my name.
But our roots go back so deep with knowing this woman. When we say Aunt Mary's, I'm talking about she knows my father, my mother. We know aunts, uncles, mamas. We're going all the way back to her mother could discipline me. The look in her mother's eyes could humble me and send me in a way they would go home and look at my own mama like, have I been called out or was I already punished? This woman, Aunt Mary's niece, has been the moment of just finding and reconnecting with that first mind, that moment of prayer, that memory, and picking up the phone only to discover that she had my nephew just moments before. This woman has been an amazing source to actually reconnect to, even in the midst of what's going on in this world, because all we have is family. And family is not by blood, but Aunt Mary's niece is definitely my soul sister. And I am Queen Sunny Honey, a Southern girl who graduated and went off into the world to live on an Indian reservation, live amongst the Navajo and the Apache in Arizona, live in Alaska, be a Negro Eskimo. And then one day after some of my people transition, I decided to remove myself from toxicity and atmosphere and allow manifestation of my very best life. Sister girl went and got a whole passport, and it's been 5 years ever since of a whole shift. And yes, I'm happy to join you today and just reconnect with the loved ones back home.
Oh my goodness. It was your nephew who was like, what, I gotta talk to my aunt before I leave and everything of that nature. Hold on for one moment. And I got to figure out how to pause it because
while she's pausing for the cause. Of course, we're live. So, everybody, I am an international teacher, contractor, and author of Not by the Hair. It's all about PCOS, having a little bit of facial hair, but still having the self love and awareness. So, check my books out on Amazon.com. That's right. And now we're back with the illustrious
Oh my gosh.
Aunt Mary's niece. Welcome back.
I love you,
Your
girl.
show.
Oh, but no, you are welcome anytime. We've been doing this for a long time. And they don't know, we grew up like sucking pacifiers together from preschool. We graduated fifth grade, graduated eighth grade, graduated high school. Let me see what else have we done. Oh, we was roommates in college. You remember that?
That's right.
And then, like she told you, when I had my son, I don't think we talked for like 2 or 3 years, but I don't know what it was. But when I was laying in the hospital room, he just came out. It was like less than 30 minutes, and she called me to give me news about what was going on and that she was feeling me and things like that. And that was just so unique to me. And then now my son, he made such a great transition into manhood and making the decision what he wants to do with his life. And the first person he thought about before he left was like, "Mom, you need to get in contact with her." And I was like, I was telling his boss or his recruiter, I was like, that was the first person that actually knew that he came into the world outside of my then husband. And but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I gotta get the energy back. But nevertheless, you have been a sister. She has taught my daughter how to crochet. Well, I got many daughters now, but she taught one of my daughters how to crochet with their fingers. I crochet with needles, but my daughter, like, Aunt Sunny taught me this. And one of the things that you may not know, but we are both educators. We love people. We love seeing people for who they are and seeing them do well. And we're very unorthodox. That's the one thing. You can't put us in a box. We won't fit. Because by the time you put us in there and try to shut it up, we all doing something else, and then we come back when we feel like it.
Right.
I can't hardly hear you. We got to speak up. Speak up.
No, honey, I'm in the amen corner. I'm not saying nothing. I'm putting you all the way.
So while I was talking to her today, I was like, you got to come on to the show. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, can you do it today? And I don't know if she took me serious or not, but I'm like, I got to hurry up and get on the show. But I'm so excited about you. I'm excited about all the wonderful things that you have done and all the experiences that you have. And one of the great things that I'm really excited about, that you're my sister in spirit and in truth. You're my sister that, way back in our Christian days, from when we wasn't really allowed to kind of express who we were because we was very young and what have you. We still had that bond, and like different things that she exposed me to. At the time, I didn't really want to know, like wearing crystals. Do you remember that? Wearing crystals and teaching me how to eat well. And so at the time, I wasn't really receptive to it, even though I knew what I was taught. But everything you taught, you don't really want to do. And she was like, well, you should do this. And then she would wear her jewelry. And I actually wear jewelry too. I got 2 pieces on. I forgot to, adorn my hands. But nevertheless, I give you honor and praise for that. I give you honor and praise for just allowing me to be me and not have to, put on that, how you call that? Be kind of, I forgot the word, but I just want to just be me and be real. And I just appreciate who you are in ministry, and people think that when you're in ministry, you got to be on the pulpit. And I'm one of those, I don't want to be on your pulpit. I've been there, done that. I don't want to be in that box. Just let me get the people who ain't going to go to church, and I'll be okay. Because you know what? The reason why I know my Bible so much, because it was the drunks or the people who like the alcoholics in Sumter, South Carolina, who actually taught me my word and taught me really how to love people for who they are, not for what they have. And a lot of times when you go to church, it's all about, well, money, money, money. And true enough, as you see, I have the donation button. You can always donate to Aunt Mary's niece. I'm not going to turn it down. And you can also donate to Queen Sunny Honey. So I need you to give me your Cash App if you have that. But nevertheless, I would rather see that you're healed, that you have a holistic life that brings you great satisfaction. And I think that I can say that with my sister. We believe in having the holistic or the whole person being in tune with who they are so they can be better and be better citizens, no matter what country you're in, no matter what discipline you're in. We always look for the greater good. And one of our colleges that we attended, one of the motto was to be a power for good. So I'm hoping that we're living up to it. I think we are. At least we try.
I want to
So
thank you for always being that. You know, everyone has a spiritual gift, and along this journey, you have been the keeper of a sacred word. And I really appreciate that you've been our walking Bible, no matter where we were in past of being youth or coming up and having our first time going out. Can I spill the tea to the people?
oh,
Back
okay.
in the
Well,
day,
yeah, you can tell them.
people, first time me and this one went out to explore the evening.
Yeah, we went to the
We
Oasis
go
with
out
the
to night club
Jiggers,
basically.
Lucky Claws. We went so many
Before
places.
we would ever get out of a vehicle, this one would have us hold hands. Kumbaya, yes, we would. Do
Mm-hmm.
one of these, and
Somebody,
then we would go
Lord.
into entire prayer. She would
Mm-hmm.
lead us in prayer for not only our safety, but the safety of those that were coming out to have a good time. And she would cover people all the way to making sure that they got home safely. I'm
Yes,
telling
Lord.
you,
Mm-hmm.
this this is a real one. This queen right here before you guys, just for you to come on this platform and have the discernment to align yourselves with Aunt Mary's niece is truly befitting as a blessing that you're receiving all of her, because she's been covering all of us, unbeknownst to ourselves, ever since she was a child. I can attest to that.
Oh my goodness. But you know what? It's a good humbling experience. But a lot of people don't realize it comes with a lot of it's a curse and a blessing. I'll put it like that. Because sometimes you want to do the wrong thing and you really can't, especially when you call me by my government name, because it means to glorify God. And I'm like, okay, like case in point, I remember when I moved back to Sumter, South Carolina after living in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I wanted to go out and have me a good time. You talk to somebody who's gonna shake a tail feather. And I mean this just do anything I could have thought to do. And so, and I bragged about it, even invited people to come along with me. And I couldn't even have no innocent bystanders like I wanted to. Not only that, but it got to the time where I wanted to go. I went there and I got so uncomfortable. I said, let me get me some hot tea. Then I found out that they wasn't gonna take no debit or credit cards, and that's all I was carrying at the time. And I'm like, okay. And then they had like a certain minimum. And I'm like, I'm gonna pay all of this when I can go get me a whole box of tea. You know how I do for this. And so I called
Mm-hmm.
myself going out to find me an ATM. You want me to tell you where that ATM was at? It was in a church. Lo and behold, guess
Oh.
what? I ain't never made it back to that nightclub. That same night. I said, Lord, why you do this to me? You
Wow.
know, get around. I need to have some fun.
For
And
me,
so,
it was after working at Benedict College, going into the
mhm.
Greens and Columbia, shout out, and
And guess
noticing
what?
like yourself that
We both worked at Benedict. You know that? We both worked there.
the passing line. But when I went out that particular night and began to dance on the dance, I can dance by myself. Someone
Hmm.
snatched my dance partner off of me. It turned out to be one of the college students that I had dealt with before. And I was, oh my goodness. And I was just like, if the college kid is snatching a man from dancing with me, I don't need to be here. So that
Oh
concluded
gosh.
that era of being in
Oh.
places where I've been lined up to know
Hmm.
it's behind me. That's not my path anymore. I can't be there. I'm not your friend. I can't be partying with the churn and the college kids.
Hmm.
No.
And I think that's kind of helpful to keep us grounded too, because we've been there, done that, and a lot of times when people look at us, they may not think that we had a really worldly experience. I put it like that. We used to have this code. You remember that? so we would know whether or not one of us needed help or not. I still know the code, girl. I still know the code. It's been over 20 years,
I
but I
still
still know
live
the
by
code.
it too. These
But
millennials
nevertheless,
better get with it. You have to have a code. And it's a code about the culture. Even when you mention about um, how we are as a people or what I did with your daughter, to me,
mm-hmm,
that's the rites of passage for womanhood, for
mm-hmm,
sacred womanhood. It is
absolutely.
knowing that, you are both healer and warrior.
Yes. Yes.
You can
Now, you saying a
provide and
whole lot
protect for
because I
your
tried to tell
own.
some
Come
men.
on now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
before you ever look outside of yourself, you have to understand that everything lines up from source, God, all the way to you. So you can
Mm-hmm.
learn to be a base, learn to be abound, have very little, have so much. But when you come to that point of Zen, that point of peace that
Yes.
passes all
Yes.
understanding, that's when
Yes.
many, many blessings can happen. So I'm sitting here like I felt like Harriet Tubman when I left America
Mm-hmm.
because like you drive down the road and that little light causes as a black person this panic attack even when you don't do anything wrong just because the cops drive by and you
Mm-hmm.
or you see the ambulance. Well, that is foreign to me. I don't know that sensation anymore, nor do I want to. Like a slave that's
Mm-hmm.
left the plantation, and I want more and more of our people to opt out of the option of being treated, mistreated, of
Mm-hmm.
experiencing racism, police brutality, of all the things that came with being a part of some sort of generational curse. I rebuke it, rescind it all back and say,
Absolutely.
not only does it stop with us, it stops
Mm-hmm.
with me, but we can all change our trajectory. Whether we're talking
Yeah.
about dietary habits, when people keep saying it started with family, it's in my family. Well, at a certain
Mm-hmm.
point, you just got to put the pig foot down, and then you won't
Yep.
have that particular
Absolutely.
issue that came with dietary. If you're sitting
Absolutely.
here and you have generation after generation with issues with trauma that is
Mm-hmm.
rooted in whether it's your history of a people or your history of your family, what you do is you grow a set of different eyes for
Yes.
yourself, manifest the life that you want.
You
Don't
sound like you got
allow
that
the
third eye open,
enemy
girl.
to. Thank you. I ask my kids all the time, how many hours you get in a day? 24. Okay, don't let nobody rob you of your joy. Be
Yes.
very cognizant that by the time you wake your tail up in the morning after sleeping 8, you
Mm-hmm.
done lost a lot of that 24. By the time you've computed in the 8 hours that you work plus commuting back and forth, you have given so much of your time and space that has not been for self
Mm-hmm.
preservation, self love. Self
Mm-hmm.
is the key, and it's family first, then self
Family.
next. So as a
Yes.
people, we just redesign our lives. When I came out of here and saw people that have children, single
Mm-hmm.
mothers with twins, that meant that their testimonies would devoutly be different. Their children are speaking many languages, little African American
Yes.
girls growing up in another part
Mm-hmm.
of the world, experiencing the yacht parties and all those things. So as the Harriet Tubman for my people, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to just come out here today, and if anything, Aunt Mary's niece, just tell all of our people, you are your greatest healer. Lay your
Yes.
hands on yourself. Take that
Yourself.
paper and that pen. Understand
And
that if
right.
Tyler Perry knew that he could
Mm-hmm.
make you laugh or cry before the pen hit paper, then surely
Mm-hmm.
you can take your own pencil, your own pen, and write and manifest your very own future. Write your mission board, put your
Yes.
vision boards up. I got
Yes.
them all over my place, and it
So do
works.
I.
It works.
It works.
America
It
said
works.
I didn't look the part to be sitting up here, a phenotype. No, I'm not some skinny, blonde hair, blue eyed girl. Mary's
Mm-hmm.
niece, I'm here to tell you, but I'm in a place where I'm valued.
Mm-hmm.
The people over here in
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, in Kuwait, in Oman, it's not a Middle East. I really live in Africa. I'm 4 hours away from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people here are black. If you see an
Mm-hmm.
Arab, he's like a mulatto in this part of the
Mm-hmm.
world. So it's truly, even to be a big girl, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just loved.
They love us, don't
In
they?
Oman, if you have a piece of facial hair, they think you
Mm-hmm.
royal.
Mm-hmm. Now look, let me kind of piggyback on something that you said. because you were talking about the vision board. And so I had put my head down because I had to go get the scripture. And so the scripture in Habakkuk 2:2, it says, then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tables so that a herald or an angel may run with it. That she has a bunch of vision boards, and I agree with her. I have a bunch of vision boards around my home. Whether or not you see it or not, it's written. Whatever is written, you can manifest. But you also have to be in the same alignment. And you have to make sure you have a spiritual bath and you're cleansed. I took one today because I had to get some work done, or do some work for some people. And so before I do the work for the people, I must make sure that I am spiritually cleansed and that I have a sober mind. Keep that in. Now, for those of you who will know, I'm a turtle, but I still, on certain things, have to have a I can't even say the word, sober mind, so that when I'm getting the work done, it will manifest the way or according to what the end should be. Now, one of the things that I like too that you said was that because we both full-figured women, and for some reason or another, it's in people's heads that you have to be skinny in order to attract and keep a man. I'm here to tell you, if you read my book, what is that book? 10 times engaged, twice married, and never a honeymoon. I ain't never been skinny with doing none of that. And I think, and I'm gonna tell you this too, I think one of the reasons why I got a fat ass is because of the fact, Lord knows, if I was skinny, I probably would have been walking all over the place looking like who know why, who got on. Speaking of that, I want to talk about my first day at Benedict College. So you remember we talked about going into the club, and we used to go to Rainbow to go get our outfits, and it's still open in the mall. Okay, so we would go and get our outfits, and I call myself trying to be Miss Fine. I had short hair just like I had now with some hoop earrings, so I could wear it long or short. Okay, and you almost saw it long today, but they just didn't have the wig that I wanted, and I couldn't try it on. So let me say this. My first day of trying to sign up for class, I was dressed wrong. I was dressed like I was going into the nightclub. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. And that was back in 1997, August to be exact. And I was at the right place doing the right thing, but looked wrong. And so one of my relatives paged me, and I ain't answered that page. So I had an aunt come from the top of the gym. I had an uncle come from the side. I had another aunt that came from the bottom of the gym. And I can tell you now, to this day, we talk about it. I don't know what happened to that outfit because my belly button was out because I had a nice belly button and I was nicely figured. You know, I was in this group that was called Deep but Natural, and I was the butt. Okay, so I had it going on that way too. Yes, I did, and I promise you, from that day forward, they had to worry about me walking around college, walking around any place else with my belly hanging out because I was too scared. Did I tell you I had an aunt come from the top? I had an uncle come from one side and another aunt, his wife, come from the bottom, and she's also a grad. And I still don't know to this day whatever happened to that outfit. From 1997, August. And so I tell my kids, make sure that you're in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people. And you know, we could talk about it now. It's funny. It's the past and it happened. And the reason why I'm talking to you about that, because we are, me and Queen Sunny, we're that tied as two women that we're trying to train up a generation, train up a group of young women so that they won't make the mistakes that we have made, so that they could be that Proverbs 31, 10 and 31 woman. Y'all better read it and better know. You know, Proverbs 31, 10 and 31 woman gets up early in the morning. Like my video said, the early bird catches the worm. But you have to be trained and you have to be equipped. And we have been there. We have done some things that, you know, people would say you shouldn't really be proud of. But when you clean up into the great divine and the universe have cultivated your life and your third eye is open, you don't care what people will say about you. Because at the end of the day, you know that you walked in that truth and you had to walk in it so that you can help pull somebody else out along the way. Is that true, Queen Sunny Honey? You got to do it for somebody else. You got to help somebody else along the way, you know. But I want you to finish talking, and I want you, especially, I give her praise and give her honor because the royalty with the facial hair. We talked about that in depth. But one of the things that you don't know about me is that my mother had facial hair, all her life.
Ooh, wait, Queen,
Uh huh.
because I know we're gonna save that for next edition. Because while
Okay.
we were
Okay.
away during commercial break, I told everybody out here I wrote a book about it, and yes, the
Mm-hmm.
book has a dedication to her mother. So I'm gonna be
Oh,
here. It's going
seriously?
on like 10 something at night. Oh, you didn't know? So let's save this for
No.
another episode. My phone is getting low. I want to come back on and talk to you about it. Actually, the name of the book is
Absolutely.
called Not by the Hair, found on Amazon as well as my website. And your mom was the first person, the first
Wow.
role model for me growing up. I have never, ever had anyone in all my years to share, to have that connection, to talk about a woman's issue. So the next time
Mhm.
that you invite me onto the show, I want to gift to you the very best gift, which is what your mother gave me, and why I
Wow.
exude this confidence all around the world. Why that book has a special dedication to your mama. What you say about my mama?
Wow.
Your mama was a blessing, is a blessing, always shall be.
Oh my
One
goodness.
of the women that I stand on the shoulders, not just you,
Yes.
not just you,
Thank you.
sister, but you came from remarkable stock.
Absolutely. They were good to me. And one of the things too, a lot of people don't know, my mother is deceased. And so that's why for about 2 or 3 years I went by Emma's daughter. And if you want to go to Amazon, you can actually purchase my books on as of Emma's daughter. And so it was because of my mom and allowed me to go to different places that gave the mystery schools of life, that I'm able to talk about it now. And some of the people have passed on, but the lessons that they taught me, it's still what it will always live because as we know, energy never dies. So, you know, the gift that they gave to me or they
We
gave
have
to
to do a
me, I would
special
like to
dedication show to mama.
yes, yes. So I'm just so excited that you were willing to get on today because we haven't talked in like a long time, probably about a year or two. But it was, my son was like, I gotta talk to my aunt Sonny, and I thank you for that he would remember you and he would know that while he's going to his next phase, going into manhood, that you were one of the women that stood beside him and helped him, even in spirit as he was coming out, you know. And then now, 17 years later, again, he's remembering you. And we don't talk often. But when we talk, we have very good conversations. It's always spiritually related, but it's always to try to benefit somebody else. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about our friendship, our sisterhood, is that we want to make sure that someone else that have crossed our paths are going to be better than what we are, and they're going to be greater than what we are, and it's going to be able to be the legacy that we leave as we go to another dimension. But we'll talk about all that a little bit later. And please make sure that you follow her and that you get her exciting books because she is a radio host. So I'm trying to get her onto stereo while she's trying to get me onto something else called Clubhouse. So, because these are voices that you need
Join
to
me
hear.
every Friday, guys. You can join me on the Caribbean Radio Show every single Friday. Freedom Friday with Queen Sunny Honey, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's right, prepared to join Aunt Mary's niece and Queen Sunny Honey on Clubhouse. It's about to be a takeover. So I put out a personal challenge for every healer out there that's in alignment. And you
Mhm.
already know that you have been supporting Aunt Mary's niece. If you have already been sowing that seed and knowing that this sister is a wonderful woman, come and join her on Clubhouse next week and let's get the conversation started. Whatever that topics that you've been listening to on Aunt Mary's niece that you also want to say, like, you know what, I wish my so and so was here and a part of this conversation. I welcome you
Mhm.
to join Aunt Mary's niece. She will take that platform and with your help in one year,
Put
the
your
rest of
help.
the world, the rest of the healers, togetherness, the conversation, the healing. Like you heard her say, and she's telling the truth. This gift that she gets, she is out here to use it to help heal someone. That's her purpose. That's how genuine
Absolutely.
this woman is. She has been doing it before she entered womanhood and doing it very, very well. She is known as a healer in our community. The ancestors above have looked and said that she is the beneficiary. She is my friend, my sister, and I am so honored just to come and share some love with you. Only the first time, but it won't be the last time.
It won't be
Thank you for
last.
having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. And without further ado, we're going to bid you well. Would you like to say the ending prayer or the closing out, the benediction in your way?
Please do. All right. Yes.
Girl, go ahead.
Everyone coming together, we just want to give thanks. Thank
Give
you
thanks.
so much, God, for this 24 hours that we cannot get back. We just want to honor and give you so much
Mhm.
praise for everything that you've done for us. We speak limitless blessings over each and every person who's listening, and in that abundance of being the beneficiary of you, the divine, the great almighty creator. We give thanks, honor, and all praise. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe,
I
amen,
say,
because amen means it
yes,
is so.
it's so.
Amen.
Girl, you better say that. It is so. Oh my goodness,
Thank you.
oh my gosh, thank you
Limitless
so much.
blessings to you and yours.
Unlimited bliss. Oh yes, me and you will never
Yes,
walk
girl.
my share.
Me and you is heaven. I love you, sis. Thank you. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, talk to you later. Bye bye.